Hey everybody, welcome back. We are excited that you're back with us. This is Team Brown Podcast. I'm Jeremy. This is Erica, and thanks for being back with us for episode 17. So today we're going to talk about peace. I know we've talked about peace in the past, but this has a little bit different spin on it because we have some new life things that have happened. And so peace, you hear this theme with us a lot, and it's really important to us. But Miss Brown, talk about peace today.
Yeah. I love that quote that says, if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. Sometimes it's necessary to make a change and fight for peace, right? At all costs. In your marriage, in your relationships, and your workspace, right? With your family. Just always to choose peace. So yeah, so recently I have a job change, which is a blessing. It's amazing, yeah. And I get to work outside, and if you've seen our property, we have this beautiful property that God's blessed us with. So I can sit out there in the picnic table, and the chickens will jump up on the table while I work, and I just sit out there with my computer and listen to the birds sing and look out at the beautiful grass and trees and flowers. And between calls, I can get up and walk. I have my weights there so I can exercise and lift weights. I guess it was just time. God was just moving me out of that space. And I didn't know what was going to happen, like what my life was going to look like. But God provided this job at the right time. And it's such a blessing. And I feel like my life has been upgraded like 10,000 times. Like, I'm so happy. And I don't know, I guess that's what we're talking about, peace. Like, sometimes it feels like a loss. I shared this quote the other day. It says, it's okay to be sad when you know you've made the right decision. Sometimes making the right decision can also feel like grief. Like, grief comes along with it because you are kind of grieving what was or what could have been, right? But you have peace because you made the right decision, and you see God blessing you because of that decision. And that's okay. That's okay to feel sad, and because He'll turn it around for your good. And He really has turned that around for my good. And our family's good. It's just so good for our family because Jeremy travels for work, and I no longer have to coordinate with him, like, do I need to get a night off so that he can get to the airport in time, or vice versa? Or does he have to meet me at the hospital to pick up the kids? We don't have to worry about anything. Like, now he said, I got a trip coming up. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, I'll just be here so I can work from home. And it's just so beautiful. So beautiful. And the other beautiful thing is I can take this job anywhere we go. So we kind of see God paving a way for us because we had heard back in February, we may get transferred, and God provided this job. So anywhere we ever go now in the U.S. or anywhere with an internet connection, I will be able to still do my job. So it's really nice.
Yeah. There's some parts in the Bible when Jesus talks about just that. There are times when people have made sacrifice, right? And other people look at that sacrifice and think it's crazy, right? Why would you do that? Like, it's such a loss or whatever. But it was the right sacrifice to make. There's a gal who broke, years worth of income on in perfume over Jesus, right? And everybody looked at that like it was crazy. Even the people that were close to Jesus looked at that like that was crazy, But Jesus was like, it was the right decision. It's sacrifice, but it's the right decision to make, And she was content with it, And I think that sometimes we just got to get to a place where it's like, I don't even care if it's popular, right? Like, for you, the decision to uproot from a job, when you tell other folks about it, it's scary. I mean, for most people that love you, they're like, hey, make sure make sure it's okay with that, make sure it's okay. But you knew it was right. And it is an upgrade. It's a legit upgrade. So I think that sometimes we just got to get to a place where it's like, I kind of don't care that if it's popular or not. If God has already told me, like, it's the right thing to do, you got to go for it. I mean, last episode or a couple episodes we talked about when God says jump, go, right? When God says now's the time, don't pump the brakes on it. Just go for it, right? And I think that that's part of that story of like, I got to make the decision, but because of that decision, it's really protected the peace in our house, right?
Yeah. Oh, and you'll definitely know. You can pray for God's help and God's wisdom and understanding. Every night we pray for that with our kids, that God would give us wisdom and understanding beyond our years. And I knew it was time to leave. I even had reached out to my manager, was trying to talk to her about the situation. And, I waited about 4 days before I even said anything. And I was thinking about coming back. Like, she had wanted me to come back, and I wanted to come back. And I was trying to figure out a way in my brain, like, how could I come back? How could I make this work? And the longer that I thought about it and prayed about it, the sicker my stomach got. And so I called my manager back, and I'm like, I cannot come back. I'm getting so sick the more and more I think about it. And you will know if you don't have peace on something, and if you're not supposed to be there. That's not an environment you need to be in, where you feel sick, actually physically sick, going to a place. You deserve to be in an environment where you feel loved, and you feel safe, and you feel peace, and you can be nurtured, and you protect your heart and your spirit. That's what God wants for you.
There's this fun story that we've experienced as a family recently in the last month or so, where we had a duck. We have ducks now, but where we had a male duck specifically. We were given a duck.
Drake.
And a drake, which the duck was very excited to be around the other ducks, but the other ducks didn't necessarily care too much about that. And so they created all the ruckus every morning, literally middle of the night, like just all the noise, and it was just no peace, right? We had 2 ducks before that. It was fine. Everybody got along. They stayed in their pond, and the chickens stayed where the chickens stay. And but whenever we introduced this new, gift of a duck that seemed like it was going to be awesome, it wasn't, and it disrupted the peace in our house. So sometimes, even whenever things seem like a gift, you got to really make the right decision to actually do the right thing and protect the peace in your house. And so for us, protecting the peace in our house literally meant relocating a duck. And that's a fun farm story for you, but it's just one story to say that, like, sometimes there's opportunities where you're like, this is a huge jump off a cliff, and I know that God's going to catch me in this. And that was your experience this last month or so. For the duck, it wasn't a big deal, but it was like, I still got to tell the kids, hey, we're relocating this new duck. And also, like, you really frame it for our family of like, hey, remember a month ago whenever we weren't woken up in the morning at 2 a.m. or whatever, and it wasn't so loud and the ducks were at peace, and let's go back to that. So let's protect some of the peace too. So sometimes it's just the action step. I think maybe what we're talking about today is action steps, right? Of saying, if peace is not in your current, work towards that, strive towards that. Take action steps towards that.
I do have a fun story, because this just jogged my memory. The job I'm currently doing, that I didn't know when God was going to provide, right? Our dream boards, our vision boards, we did on January 1st, that we do with our kids every year, January 1st. In my dream and vision board, I had wrote to God what I was believing for, and I said, I would love sometime in the future, God, to have a remote job where I could work from home, something that would be flexible and work with our family. I didn't know He would provide this fast, and I didn't know what it was going to look like. But when I received this opportunity, it made me think about that. Like, oh my goodness, I wrote this down, and God is already answering my prayers. So just know when it's time to jump, know when it's time to leave, and trust God. Take risks, take big risks, because if I sat and told you, like, I took an $8 an hour pay cut, most people would think you're crazy to take an $8 an hour pay cut. But this is what happened. This new position is $8 less an hour, but I'm actually getting more income because I'm able to work more hours, because I'm here and I can do more, and I'm physically here, and it's just,
Well, and you're not driving to and from, right? And you're not a zombie the next day because you got 12-hour shifts of no sleep, and it provides an environment where you can work more if you choose to, right?
so it's kind of like when I said yes to God, it was scary, like even talking to Jeremy about it, because, it's something new and I've never done it before, and it's a new position. So I'm like, it's kind of an $8 an hour pay cut, babe. Is that okay? And he's like, yes, so, so we tried it. But I think in the midst of that, God was still saying, just trust me.
Yeah.
Trust that I'm going to provide all that money that you're thinking in your mind was lost because it's $8 an hour less than what you were making. But actually it's not. You're going to have more abundance, more time, more life, more peace, more freedom. Those are things you can't buy. Money, you can't put a price on that. Your health, my health, I got my health back. It's just nice. Yeah.
So we hope it blessed you. We hope you maybe took something away. Like, hey, maybe if you're hearing us say over and over, and if you've been with this journey on us, you're hearing some familiar things in the story, right? You're hearing peace kind of reestablished. You're hearing the fact that we're taking huge risks, right? You're hearing dream boards and the value of dream boards, and those are all things we've talked about in previous episodes. So if you've been on the journey with the Team Brown family, we hope that you're seeing things come to life and you're seeing things come through fruition, right? Actually, we're delivering on those concepts with you. We hope that excites you, and we hope that you take us up on some of that. So anything else before we go?
No.
God bless you guys. We'll see you for episode 18. Bye, y'all.